Hey, it's Friday, Labor Day weekend 2020. Coming up next is your Friday Film Fix. Hey everybody, JDV here for EvilGeniusEntertainment.com, and this is going to be a new feature on the channel. Hopefully, every Friday I'm going to come out and tell you guys about industry news in filmmaking, upcoming films coming out this weekend, and maybe what you want to watch if you don't want to watch any of the new stuff that's coming out. Well, as you already know, most movie theaters are shut down all across the world thanks to COVID-19. Because of that, most new releases that were supposed to come out this year have been delayed for theatrical release until 2021, or like Mulan, are going to be streaming on premium video distribution systems. Top Gun 2 has been delayed. Kingsman 3, a prequel to Kingsman, has been delayed. Quiet Place 2, Jackass 4. Just there's a slew of Hollywood films that won't be coming out until 2021, if even then. Now, while that makes sense for a film like Top Gun 2 that has a big budget, I'm not so sure that not just putting it on video demand would not benefit something like Jackass 4. I mean, how much money could they have really spent on it? The same thing goes for Quiet Place 2. People are going to want to be seeing some new horror movies this October. And while I'm sure there's going to be lower tier movies, Quiet Place 2, I think, could have made a whole lot of money on video on demand. And now it's going to be kind of part of not just the 2020 releases that are going to be piled up in 2021, but also the 2021 stuff that would have come out normally in that year. So I think Hollywood is taking a risk in releasing some of those films down the line, but we shall see. In other filmmaking news, Robert Pattinson, who is the new Batman for Warner Brothers, has COVID-19, so the entire production has shut down. Warner Brothers has not told people when they're going to restart, which is weird because COVID-19, generally speaking, I think they say it's 2 weeks for you to recover from for, most healthy people. And if that's the case, I'm not sure why Warner Brothers would not have already scheduled the shoot. Now, maybe that's changed since this press release came out a day ago, but I don't think that anyone's doing handstands to see Robert Pattinson as Batman anyway, so maybe Warner Brothers is having some cold feet. Of course, everybody thought that Michael Keaton was going to be a horrible Batman too, and well, we were wrong about that. If you like Godfather 1 and 2 but hated Godfather 3, Francis Ford Coppola agrees with you. At least that's how I'm going to interpret the news, that Coppola is apparently going to completely re-edit Godfather 3, including putting in a new ending, a new beginning, presumably with existing footage, as well as using a lot more footage from Godfather 2 and 1. Now, I don't know if he's going to be using stuff that was on the cutting room floor from Godfather 1 and 2 or not, but apparently they're going to be throwing some money at it, as I believe it's the 50-year anniversary of Godfather 1, something like that. But they're going to try to re-kickstart some interest in the Godfather series by doing this. I don't know how effective a re-edit of a bad movie is going to be. I mean, the movie is what it is. I mean, the cast is very uneven. The story is, I mean, it's pretty far out of field from a normal mob movie type story. So I don't know how much success they're going to have for it, but if you are a diehard Godfather fan, maybe look forward to Godfather 3 Redo. A little bit of video game news. And that is Doom 1 and 2 for Nintendo Switch has gotten a big update, and apparently the controllers are going to work a lot better. It's going to be the first true 16:9 version of Doom, old Doom, I guess, that's going to be made available. Lots of user maps, things like that, improved deathmatch. I didn't even know Doom 1 and 2 was for the Twitch, so I think this is kind of exciting news for oldsters like me that want to play their old games on new system. In terms of my recommendations for this weekend for new releases, I'd say check out an independent film called Proximity. It's a 2020 film with a UFO abduction type theme. It has lots of tributes to other UFO movies, including Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Although I've read some negative comments about the acting in it, I thought the acting was actually very good in the film. I think the effects are amazing, considering the budget is ultra low budget. You can see that the filmmakers really threw their heart and their soul into it, and the cast threw themselves in it too. And it's just one of those films that you can tell is filled with a lot of love and a lot of passion. And while it is not a great movie, it is certainly worth a watch, particularly if you're interested in lower budget films. That's Proximity, made in 2020. There's lots of other films called Proximity or Proximity Effect or something like that. So just look up Proximity 2020. I believe it's available at Redbox, and you can get it on demand at Amazon. The other kind of new release is Bill and Ted 3. I think it's called Bill and Ted Face the Music. It's apparently it's right along the lines with Bill and Ted 1, 2, well, of course, which the last one came out maybe a quarter of a century ago. Now, I don't know how much demand there is going to be for Bill and Ted 3, especially because Bill and Ted 2 is a pretty awful movie. On the other hand, a light-hearted comedy might be exactly what people want. And of course, the 80s, there's a lot of interest in all things 80s right now. So if you have $20 to spare, because that's what it costs to rent right now on video on demand, check out Bill and Ted Face the Music. Interestingly enough, they got William Sanderson to come in and play Death again, and any movie that throws money in that guy's pocket, I'm for, because I think he's just a great underused actor. In terms of something older that you might want to check out, I'd say check out Guillermo del Toro's The Strain. The Strain came out about 6-7 years ago. It is about a vampire plague that basically sweeps across the world. Unlike other versions of vampires, including my own Tale of Vampire Apocalypse, Vampireland, this is kind of more medical based. It's almost like a Michael Crichton take on vampires, in as much as they treat vampirism as a parasitic virus type thing. And there's actually a lot of incredibly relevant stuff about the CDC, corrupt government officials, just the ineptitude of people in general, how evil can kind of creep in where good people just don't do anything. But beyond all that, the effects are amazing in it. They really do hold up. There's a lot of violence in it. The cast is straight up amazing. The music good. Production value is amazing. It's just a really, really good show. It ran for 4 seasons, about, I think, 12 episodes a season. So you can kind of binge watch the whole thing maybe over Labor Day weekend if you wanted to. I believe it's available on Hulu, and the way I watch it is on Amazon Prime. I just bought the whole seasons, and I think actually the seasons are on sale on Prime for like $12 or something like that. So a pretty good deal if you don't want to buy Hulu. And lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the passing of Chadwick Boseman, the now legendary actor who played Black Panther, who passed away at age 43 from colon cancer. He's just a really incredible actor, and his death really did shock pretty much everybody. It was just stunning. My kids were crying about it. It was just really, just ultra bad news to lose somebody so talented, so young, playing everything from Jackie Robinson to Thurgood Marshall to the superhero and Marvel movies. He really was the one bright spot for me in those last kind of 10 Avenger movies that really started to slide downhill there after Avengers 2. We're going to talk about in Two Fat Drunks next week about what happens to movie franchises when they lose their leading man. And so maybe check that out next week. Okay, so that's it for this debut of Film Friday Fix. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions for me for the next episode, go ahead and put them down below. Until next time, JDV, mwah! See you at the movies. I'm pretty sure I can say that. I probably can't.
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.